thinks that they can do art when they really can't. But no, I'm professionally trained, very talented artist who can do almost everything within the realm of design and websites and coding and all that. So anybody who needs any design work done, I would be glad to help you. Because most of the design work I do online, I ask to be paid in PayPal, and that all goes directly to my top surgery fund. I have currently one project that I am definitely getting, and another project I'm waiting on whether or not I will get it. And both of those are $50. And I'm still waiting to hear back from at least 3 or 4 other people. Only one other person got back to me and said that the job was already taken. So, yeah, anybody looking for design work, definitely hit me up. Check out my portfolio. I'll probably put all the links under the video. I know this is a really long video, but I haven't updated in a month. I think I touched on quite a few subjects to just, kind of talk to you guys about myself and not my transition for once, because my transition is really going very slowly. I guess I'll touch on a couple things. There really hasn't been much change at all. The shaving is going pretty well. I have more hair growing on my chin. I actually have some hair actually growing in right here, finally, which is it was the last spot that I was not growing any hair, and now I am. It's all still blonde, and so is everything on my cheeks, but it's all coming in thicker and more dense, I guess. Like, it's not as sparse as it used to be. It's coming in closer together, and the hairs are getting much longer than they used to, but it's all still very bright blonde. I have no idea when it's going to darken up, but all this is coming in blonde too. I have much thicker hair coming in right here that's all blonde, but I'm guessing within a few more shaves, this will all start turning black or brown or whatever. This is all pretty much still the same. It's still kind of long. This is about how long it is. And you can definitely see it in person. Unfortunately, due to lighting, it's almost impossible to see it here. It's very hard to see, but I have this patch right here. I'm still debating on whether or not I'll start shaving that to see if it'll come in thicker, because I really hate not having facial hair. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I think I have, that it's one of my big dysphoria triggers, not having any facial hair whatsoever. But I really would like this to start coming in better, because I would like to grow like a chin beard, or like this patch and this patch, like down to here, which would be fucking awesome. And I can't really grow that until I start shaving. So maybe here in the next couple weeks, I'll get the balls to shave everything and start letting it grow in better. I am shaving this regularly, about once every 2 weeks, because it's actually growing in 2 weeks. It used to take 4 months for this to grow in before testosterone, 2 months to grow in when I first started testosterone, and now that I am 9 months, I think, on testosterone, it only takes 2 weeks. So that says a lot about my genetics. It's about the only thing that really pisses me off. I have noticed that I'm getting a little bit more arm hair. You really can't see shit on the video But I have a patch right in here that just recently started growing because my hair really does have like a straight line all the way from here to here that it grows, and then it would curve up and there would be nothing there, but now it's a straight line the whole way. Well, up until it gets to right here, and then it curves because of the crook of the arm. But this patch is finally filling in, and it's doing it on both arms. I'm also getting a little bit filled in right here, and a small trail going up here. The trail's better on this arm. But on both sides I have hair growing right here. And it's itty bitty little tiny hair that you cannot see unless, you're looking at it like this. My legs are still pretty much the same. It's all pretty filled in except for my inner thighs. From my knee to about a little higher than mid-thigh. All of that is still completely bald, but everywhere else has hair. And it's still not very dense hair because I don't have very good hairy genetics. So I'm probably going to be pretty hairless most of my life. I have one hair I actually have like one hair over here and two hairs over here on my back. But they haven't grown back in since the last time I plucked them. So I don't know about that. But I haven't really checked in a while, so I don't know if they're back yet. But I don't think I have any other back hair growing. I just had the couple random ones like right here on my traps. And every time my mom sees them, she always plucks them. So they've only grown back a couple times, and I haven't seen them since the last time. So I don't think I'll have back hair. At least I hope I won't. I have two chest hairs. I have one right in the middle, right here, and then I have another one like over here somewhere. This one will end up getting cut off in top surgery. But I have one itty bitty little hair that grows right about in there. Yeah, it's still there. It's very, very tiny. It's kind of long, but it's like a very light brown, and it's not like some that'll probably keep growing. As soon as it falls out, it probably won't grow back again. But I used to have one hair about right here that was really dark and thick, but that never grew back after it fell out. So I have hopes that I'll have a little bit of chest hair right here, but I seriously doubt that's going to happen. I have a little bit more belly hair than I used to. It's still nothing that you can see on webcam, but I have basically my entire stomach used to be 100% hairless, not a single hair anywhere, and all of this area now has a very fine covering of hair. I have the tiniest little trail that goes up here. You cannot see it on here. I'm just like showing for reference. But all of right here has a very light covering of hair. My happy trail is still working its way on filling in. I have, even though it doesn't look like it on webcam, I have a definite happy trail right underneath my belly button, and a little bit creeping up. It's like full on one side and then just not full on the other side. It's kind of weird. And then in between the two, it's not connecting yet. I have a few random ass hairs spread all throughout in that area that's not connecting, but only like 3 in the area that it needs to connect. So that's probably I'm thinking that it's probably going to be roughly 2 or 3, if not 4 years on testosterone that I will have all the body hair that I'm going to have. But I'm really not sure. I'm genetically just not a very hairy person, and it kind of pisses me off. And I don't want to be a bear, but I want to have a happy trail, and I want somewhat visible hair on my forearms. I'd like for this to stay smooth, and I'd like for every area that could possibly be a phalloplasty to stay smooth, because I don't want electrolysis. But if I have to, I have to. I am debating on different types of phalloplasty because I found out that my sides are much more sensitive than my forearm. And my forearm are the second most sensitive. But it's a really, really intense surgery. I finally found a video of the entire surgery, and that shit is fucking intense. I did not realize how much shit they take out of you. But, I mean, it's ridiculous. I might post the link to the surgery I found, too, because the one I found does this one. I think it's like a radial dorsal flap, something like that, I don't know. But they take a shit ton of skin. And I was thinking, after watching that video, instead of going with the most sensitive area, what if I just go with an area where I actually have the extra tissue to spare, which would be my legs or my stomach. But my legs and my stomach are not really sensitive at all, which that sucks. And I almost have enough skin on my back, or my back and my side to do it, but not enough for something that I would like the result of. It's not like up to my standards, because the size that I want post-surgery would take up a massive part of my back, and I would never be able to get that just from my forearm. My forearm would have to quite literally double or triple in size to get what I want, which I'm not happy with that. Unless, they want to take my entire fucking forearm, which that's not going to be any fun. I mean, I really do not care about scars. I really don't, because I plan on getting full sleeves on both arms. And I pretty much end up, I want the majority of my body to be tattooed, so scars really don't bug me at all. It's the recovery process that bugs me, and my final surgery result. I don't know. It's just such an intense surgery. I mean, I realized it was going to be intense, but not that intense. I mean, they just take fucking chunks of your body out and put it somewhere else, and then you're kind of lopsided on both sides, because they take so much skin out from there, and arteries, and all kinds of shit. And, I mean, with plastic surgery and everything, from my stomach and my legs, I have plenty of skin there. I have so much shit there that I don't care if you take a bunch of it out from one side. I can just get the other side, shapened up to match, eventually. In my stomach, I have so much fucking shit there, I could pay an extra for, liposuction or something, where they remove the extra fat afterwards and just staple it to, or sew the two parts together to where I wouldn't even need a skin graft, because I just have so much extra stomach, and so much extra leg. But the problem with that is sensitivity. My stomach and my legs are not at all sensitive. But my forearm and my sides are both very sensitive. So, I'm not really sure. I have to think about that. And I'll have to see if there's any possible way to increase sensation. Or it could just be that I'm used to touching myself in those two areas, and it doesn't seem like it's all that sensitive, but if somebody else were to touch me there, it'd probably be a lot more sensitive. So I don't know, I really have a lot of thinking left to do on bottom surgery, so I'm very glad that I have several years to decide what the fuck I want. Because right now, all I really know is what size I want, which, yeah, so, bottom surgery is fucking complicated. I don't know if I have any other changes testosterone-wise. My voice just, I haven't noticed my voice dropping any, but you know, you guys, yeah, sorry about that. You guys can be the judge of whether or not my voice has dropped. Because I really don't know if it has. It seems pretty constant to me. I did finally notice that my shoulders and hips are finally in the ratio that they should be. Because on a guy, the edge of your chest should match up with your hips, and your shoulders should pop out. Shoulder width, you know, like however wide your shoulder is from your chest out, and be wider than your hips. My hips used to be exactly lined up with my shoulders, which was very awkward for me because I've always had very broad shoulders, which means I had very fucking broad hips. But I finally noticed my shoulders are completely proportional with what they should be to my hips. I still have very large hips, but my body is finally proportional in that. Which that is amazing. My chest has gotten broader. My chest is, the last time I measured, about an inch or two broader than my waistline, but my hips still match up and everything. My waistline's a tiny bit, my waistline's 2 or 3 inches smaller than my hips. But that made me very happy. And let's see, any other things. I haven't really had any real muscle change lately. I'm not working out nearly as much as I should, but I'm doing a little bit better. My chest is getting stronger. It's not getting any bigger, but it's getting stronger. I was finally able to do an actual guy push-up the other day, last week actually. My entire life, no matter how good a shape I was in, I have never, ever, ever been able to do a normal male-style push-up. And I used to be able to bench press my own weight, which for a biological female who is not on testosterone, that's pretty fucking amazing. And I still could not do a push-up. But just last week, I was able to do 20 male push-ups, which I was so fucking excited. Now, I don't know if that was just my testosterone, because I was working out 2 hours after my shot, which I found watching a steroid documentary, that 2 hours right after you take your shot is when your levels spike and you get superhuman strength, and it's like the best time to work out. So it could have been that, but I will see if I can do normal male push-ups throughout this week, to see if I still have that strength or if it was just the testosterone. But I was pretty fucking proud of myself for finally being able to do a male push-up. Now, I still can't do a pull-up. That kind of sucks. but I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting stronger, which that excites me. Ow, kitty! Don't dig your claws in. Um, so, my puberty and everything is just going so incredibly slow. It's really hard to catch all of the changes as they happen, which is why I'm not updating as frequently as I probably should be, and my videos aren't entirely trans-related, but I think it is nice to get the extra viewpoints for trans guys, because you don't really see too many trans guys who aren't just normal guys. I mean, most of them are pretty run-of-the-mill average guys. You'd never be able to tell that there was anything different about them than any other guy who's ever lived ever. I personally only know one other trans guy who is as freaky as I am and wants to be as different as I want to be, and that's Joji. With, the modifications and the hair dye and all that stuff. Which is one of the reasons he's an idol of mine, is because he's F to M, and he does not let, society and stigma fuck with how he wants to be. He can be F to M, but he can still be feminine, he can still have body mods, he can still be freaky, and he just doesn't care, and that's what I love about him. It's why he's one of my idols, and I'm pretty much the exact same way. And I actually do get dysphoria if I'm not allowed to have body mods. I've been very, very dysphoric lately because I've not been able to get the piercings that I want, and I fucking had to wait like an extra 2 months to be able to dye my hair green. And it just got to a point where I was just so and dysphoric and not wanting to leave the house because I couldn't get any of this stuff done, and I really wanted it done because, I mean, obviously I have to wait for anything else trans-related. You can't rush puberty, and I don't have money for top surgery. So that's kind of on the back burner. There's nothing I can do about it. But body mods are pretty quick and easy and cheap to do. So it was really kind of fucking with me that I have looked the exact same for over a year now and haven't been able to get a single extra body mod done, let alone even finish my only fucking tattoo. And it was really pissing me off that I couldn't get extra tattoos done because of my lack of inspiration to design them, and the fact that I have to save so many fucking different areas open until I know what the fuck to do with bottom surgery. So that, again, it was leading me into, get piercings that I want to, cure my or not cure, but satisfy my dysphoria, or make it go away, whatever. And, trans guys, and actually, I guess anybody who's really into body modification and really just does not want to be, a plain Jane human, can get body dysphoria from that. And I know a lot of people can get body dysphoria. If you're fat or skinny, or body modifications, or you have a body part that you really don't like nose jobs or whatever the fuck. A lot of people get really dysphoric about their body, and I think it's really good to show, especially a trans person, because we're all expected to only be dysphoric about our gender and sex and blend into the rest of society as normal men and not try to stick out at all in any shape, way possible out of everything. Like, it seems like the ultimate goal for a trans person is to be able to live stealth for the rest of their life. And that's really not for me. And I like being able to show other people the different sides of that, because it's really not put out there. Almost every single trans person I have followed in the last 4 years has ended up stopped making videos or took down all of their videos because they finally reached a point in their transition where they can live stealth, and then they just fucking disappeared. And you'll never know that they're trans unless you follow them during their transition when they were making videos. And I think that's a really shitty thing to do. Because with as fucking sucky as it is for trans people right now, if we were more visible, people would probably get used to us and not really think of it nearly as, and they wouldn't think of it as anything bad like they normally do. I mean, the same thing happened with every fucking other minority in, all of history. If back when Jews were being persecuted, if they were hiding and didn't know they existed, then there wasn't a problem. But as soon as they started coming out and being like, I'm Jewish, I have rights, fuck you, you can't do anything to me just because I'm fucking Jewish, get the fuck over it. And then they killed them all. And then eventually, shit got better. Now, thankfully, since then, it hasn't been as bad. But I mean, with the blacks, they were, as long as they stayed slaves and did as white people told them, nobody had a problem. As soon as they wanted their freedom and their rights and everything, again, massive violence, blah blah blah, and then everything was better, because they did not give up. And then gays. Nobody knew you were gay, nobody had a problem, but as soon as you started coming out and saying, I'm gay, I want my rights, blah blah blah, you got all this fucking violence going on, and all this political bullshit, but we're ever slowly, probably within the next 5 to 10 years, going to have amazing rights, and equal rights for gays and everything. So, I mean, unfortunately, humans are fucking stupid, and we have to go through the living in silence, and then we get fed up, and then we demand our rights, and then violence breaks out, and then equality. Unfortunately, that's the fucking way it goes. And the sooner we stop living in the shadows, and we come out and demand our rights, and to be treated fairly, and to be able to live our lives the way we fucking want, whether or not we want to hide ourselves, we'll be getting our equal rights. So, I plan on living my life very openly, and I will never stop making these videos. I don't feel like I have a reason to stop. So, unless YouTube is, no longer available to post my videos on, which I don't see that happening, because there really is no other website like YouTube to compete with YouTube. So, I mean, MySpace, Facebook, Google+, and all of those can come and go, but I'm pretty sure YouTube's going to stay a constant. So, I'm going to post these videos for as long as I fucking can. I don't see a reason to stop. Especially since we have so very little people who really document their entire life being trans. A lot of them just get to a certain age or a certain point in their transition and they just stop. But I think it's very valuable to the trans community, socially, awareness-wise, and even medically, to see somebody throughout their entire life being trans. Because it's so new to prescribe hormones and everything. We don't even know the long-term health effects of testosterone in female bodies, or even estrogen in male bodies. But, I mean, to me it's worth the risk. And I am very proud that I can be part of figuring all of this out and passing the information along to other people. I think that is everything I wanted to say, I think. This is an hour-long video, and there's very little editing that I have to do to it. I think I've touched on everything I wanted to say. There's really not that much transition stuff going on. There will be one more link that I will post at the end of this video. They came out with a new version of the standards of care, where they list that hormones and surgery are medically necessary for trans people, and they cover everything from top surgery to breast augmentation, breast reduction, facial plastic surgery for M to Fs. I don't know if they cover facial plastic surgery for F to Ms, because it's so very rarely needed. But I don't know, I don't remember that part. They cover hysterectomies, bottom surgery, pretty much any and every major surgery that trans people will need are considered medically necessary, and they include genderqueer people as well, which that is like a fucking huge step forward for the gender variant community, because it used to be very strict transgender, transsexual, and that's it. They wouldn't consider you if you were androgynous or genderqueer or something completely in between. Now it's pretty fucking open, and almost anybody is allowed to do whatever the fuck they want to make themselves feel right in their own body, regardless of what they identify with, which I think that is probably 10, 20 years ahead of its time, really, because usually there would be a much bigger struggle to get that kind of freedom. So that is quite amazing. Now I don't know how soon insurance is going to start covering all of these surgeries and hormones and everything for us, but I would like to see, my guess would probably be within the next 5 to 10 years, we'll see insurance starting to cover all of this. We just have to get people out there who have insurance to be like, hey, look, the standards of care say this is medically necessary. Here is my diagnosis. I want my stuff covered. And as soon as we get more people doing that, more insurance companies are going to start covering it. I wish I had insurance so I could take, my diagnosis to them and be like, look, I want my surgery covered, so give it. So that's pretty amazing. I will include a link to download the new version of the standards of care under this video as well. This will probably have to be a 2-part video, at least. So I'll put all of the links that I need on both of them. And now I think I'm done. Because, I just happened around about that completely by chance. And I know a lot of people who follow me don't know much about the standards of care, or they don't care for them. And I think this will restore faith in the standards of care for a lot of people, since they went leaps and bounds ahead of their fucking time. So now I think I'm done. If I think of anything else, which I seriously doubt I will, because I covered quite a lot of things in an hour, I'll make another video, but I don't think I will. It'll probably be another 2 weeks to a month before I update again. I might make a small update if I get my Libre. Okay. I might make a small update if I get my Libre done here soon. Aside from that, I'm not really sure. So, yeah, I don't think I'll be needing an update anytime soon. So, Wolfgang out.